friends. So today I wanted to talk about pregnancy loss. It is something that unfortunately has happened to me recently, about I guess almost 2 weeks ago now. I was pregnant and I went in for my appointment, and they saw the baby. I saw the baby. I was happy. We saw the flicker of the heartbeat, and my doctor told me that it's a little low. The heartbeat's 98. We want it to be higher than that. He said, we'll recheck in a week. I spent the next week just being positive and staying positive and manifesting. And I was like, you know what? It's going to be great. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Little guy or girl is probably just, baby's heart just started, probably, it's slow because it's working its way up, right? So I was like, definitely by next week, it'll be great and it'll be high and it'll be wonderful. And then I can show pictures to people and oh, look, and take a video of the heartbeat and, because in the past, I never had any problems. I mean, a lot of women have issues getting pregnant, which is super painful, and I can't even imagine the pain of that, but I never had issues with that. I got pregnant with Holly and Lily quickly. There was never any complications, so I had no reason to think. I had no reason to doubt. And then I went back a week later. Unfortunately, my doctor, it was a different doctor this time because he wasn't available. But I didn't want to reschedule. I wanted to make sure that everything was fine, even though I knew it was going to be. And so I go in there and I do the ultrasound, and he's just very quiet. Finally, I was like, hey, I can't see it because the screen wasn't really turned to me. The screen is more turned to him. So I said, I can't see. Can I see better? And so he turns the screen, and then proceeds to tell me that he's sorry, but there's no heartbeat. But there was one. It was 98 last week. I don't understand. This never happened to me. This doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that statistically it was bound to happen, but it doesn't happen to me. I was given 3 options, right? I could either let my body do its thing, which I was told could take up to 8 weeks. Or they could prescribe me medication to force the issue, or I could schedule a D&C. So I chose to schedule a D&C because I didn't like the idea of walking around with this lost pregnancy for up to 8 weeks, right? Like that seemed really hard, and so I didn't want to put myself through that emotionally. And then, taking medication, I didn't want to put my body through that because I didn't want to force the issue. I just wanted, I was like, nature is beautiful and nature finds a way. And so my body knows what to do. It doesn't need to be forced into it. But I also didn't want it to last up to 6 weeks. So I chose the D&C. So I scheduled a D&C for the following Monday. My family and I had a vacation planned. And I said that I told my husband I still want to go on this vacation. We're going to have lots of fun. My girls are very excited. It's going to be really good memories for them. They're going to remember this. They're going to get to be in the pool every day, and it's going to be great. We went on this vacation. I was like, okay, we'll go and I'll have some drinks, because I can do that now, just little silly things to try to make myself feel better. I was like, I'll drink. It'll be fine. Second day of vacation, I started bleeding. So I was like, all right, this is happening quickly. I wish I had known that it would be fast. That's the thing is, doctors, they'll tell you oh, this can take up to 6 weeks and it could be a long time. But that's the beauty of nature, is what I realized. Nature's amazing. And if there's something wrong or if there's something that needs to not be there anymore, the body will flush it out. We'll figure it out. The body will find a way, right? Nature finds a way. I just wish that I'd known that it could be literally days later. I didn't know that. And so I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't prepared. I hadn't, brought really anything. I was stuck. I suddenly found myself needing to change my clothing, and I didn't have any other pairs of shorts. So the third day of our vacation, I'm rocking like a formal dress because I was like, oh, my husband and I can go to a nice dinner. Maybe the girls can play at they have like a kids camp thing and we can go to a fancy dinner. So I brought a fancy dress. So here I am during the day in this fancy dress at the pool because I didn't realize that I would probably need an extra change of clothes, right? Because I didn't think it was going to happen so fast. Anyway, and then another thing that was bothering me too was that I didn't realize that I'd still have the symptoms of pregnancy until it was out. So I was nauseous, and I was still eating like I was pregnant. I would still get nauseous if I didn't eat, and and that was frustrating because I was like, well, now I'm just getting fat, for no reason. And I ended up the last day of our vacation that morning, ended up passing everything all at once. It was very, it's just, so I passed everything that morning, and then I told Paul, this is too much. Also, I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't know how much it would be or how heavy it would be. So I didn't know. And I told Paul, I said, I'm bleeding too much. We need to go to the hospital. So we woke the kids up super early on our last day. We managed to stay the whole time. It was just, that was the day we were going to be checking out anyway. But 6 a.m., we got the kids up, and then my husband had me stay sitting on the bed while he packed everything. And then we checked out, and then we left, and we drove an hour and a half to the hospital that's near our house. And yeah, and then I was in the hospital, and I told them, I was like, I'm having a miscarriage. I have a D&C scheduled, so they gave me something for the pain, and they gave, they did what they do. They took blood and stuff. And then they asked me if I wanted to stay and just do the D&C, or if I wanted to go home and then come back the very next day for my D&C. And I decided to stay. I just didn't want to go home and see the girls and just have it on my mind. I just wanted to kind of stay and have them take care of me and get it done. And then I would go home and hug my kiddos after. So I stayed there. My mom was able to watch the girls so that Paul could come back to the hospital to meet me and stay with me the whole time. So that was good. So after I had this miscarriage, that's another thing that I wasn't prepared for, that I really wish that the doctor talked about. Your body is ready to have a baby, so there's all these hormones when you miscarry, and then there's nothing there anymore. Well, where are all those hormones going to go, right? And so, I was, for about almost a whole week, I was completely drained. I just felt like I have no energy in my body. I will never have energy in my body. I remember a couple evenings just like kind of being shaky because I was so tired. And so when I got the kids to bed, I would just like go to sleep because it was too much. I was too tired. It was exhausted. And I didn't understand. I should have thought about it, I guess, but I had to Google it. Like, I was like, fatigue after miscarriage. And then every article was like, yeah, duh, you're going to be really tired. But I didn't know because I wasn't told. I hate finding things out the hard way, even though that's probably the best way to learn stuff. But still, just tell me these things, doctors. Jeez, don't make us fend for ourselves out here. Yeah. So for I guess future notice, if you end up having a miscarriage like I did, you're gonna be drained, completely drained for almost a week. The internet said it could be several weeks. So just so everybody knows, like I do now, it's a big deal. It's a big thing for your body to get ready for something and then just out of nowhere have to like get ready for that. It's a lot. And so I'm recovered physically as far as I know, although I'm still bleeding a little bit, but I don't know. I'm honestly about to message my doctor and ask him like, hey, like how long is this going to be a thing? Like, because my husband and I want to keep trying, but my doctor told me to wait until I have another full cycle and then I can start trying again. But the issue I'm having is I have no idea when my next cycle is going to be. If you know what I mean? Like, I don't know when my next period is going to be. And I'm still like waiting a little bit. Am I going to stop and then have my period? Or is my period just going to start in the midst of still this kind of bleeding? It's like, it's super random. Like, it's every day, just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, but it's still there. And so I don't understand. And so I'm gonna ask my doctor about that. It's just such a mind F, like I never had issues and then suddenly I have issues. I was pregnant. I'm supposed to be pregnant. My due date was in May. Like, I'm not pregnant anymore. And it's just, I don't know. I'm feeling I know it wasn't my fault, but I'm feeling very useless right now. I had dinner with a friend of mine the other night and I hadn't eaten anything all day. And she, we're talking about it, and I told her that I just didn't see the point. So the depression's there. It's probably going to be there for a little while. I am going to try to go back to nourishing myself. I don't know. I haven't eaten anything today either. But yeah, it'll pass. It'll get better. This too shall pass. I'll be fine. It's just weird. I was pregnant. Heartbeat was 98. It was there. It was low, but it was there, and I saw it, saw ultrasound, saw the heart flickering, it was there and there wasn't. And I don't know if we talk about this enough. People talk about having trouble conceiving, and that's like a really big, sad thing, and I understand that, but it kind of makes, like, I kind of would feel guilty for not having trouble getting pregnant. And kind of like, I felt like I couldn't really talk about the fact that I didn't have trouble. Like, that was like, I'm supposed to, like, I just felt like I felt guilty for that. And then now I have this problem that I wasn't expecting to have. And it's just, my mind is like not, it's just, like I said, it's a total mind F. So, it's just going to take a little time, I think, to mentally get back. What's keeping me going is we really want to have a third baby, and so we're still going to try. I'm just, right now I'm just waiting for that next cycle so we can start trying. But yeah, so hopefully that'll be soon, and then I can hopefully have a sticky baby this time. Have a good day. Bye.